low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.
Brian Giles with Brian Giles MTG, and we have more March of the Machine spoilers. So we're gonna start off with Into the Fire. So this is a red and 2. For a sorcery that reads, choose one. Into the Fire deals 2 damage to each creature, planeswalker, and battle. Or put any number of cards from your hand onto the bottom of your library and then draw that many cards. Oh, that's quite interesting. Either some card draw where there's not that much of a detriment because they go onto the bottom of your library, or you get to deal 2 damage to creatures, planeswalkers, and battles. Solid, for certain. So next up we have, where do we go? I lost my place here. Been here. Oh, there we are. Ravenous Sailback. A green and 4 for a 3/4 dinosaur. When it enters the battlefield, choose one. It either gains haste until end of turn or destroy target artifact or enchantment. Well, that sounds kind of really like it, type of Ixalan type of thing with all the dinosaurs and stuff. So I can deal with that. Not bad. A little pricey, but next up we have Streetwise Negotiator. A green and 1 for a 0/2 cat citizen with backup 1. This creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. If it's another creature, gains the following ability until end of turn. This creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. That certainly would be a good thing to fit into your Arcades the Strategist deck. So that's interesting. Next up, we have a card that's in appears to be Chinese. It's 2 blue and 4 for an instant that reads. It has Convoke. Choose one or both. Counter target spells, draw 2 cards, and discard a card. You probably want to choose both, unless you're convoking with a lot of your creatures. Next up, we have another invasion. Invasion of Moad. A green, a white, and 2 for a 5 damage battle siege. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Well, if you're playing like a Counters Matters deck, that's certainly a thing. But you defeat the battle, flip it over, it becomes Bloom Wielder Dryads, a 3/3 Dryad with Ward 2. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So definitely a card for a Counters Matters deck. Next up we have another card which appears to be, might be in Japanese. Oh, this is a spell that that Quintorius was casting with the 5 other people there on Strixhaven. For a blue and 5, you get an instant that has Convoke. You cast sorcery spells this turn as though they had flash. When you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell twice. Okay, we're convoking. You may choose new targets for each copy. Yeah. This is a and it's in everybody's favorite or unfavorite color, blue. So well, that could just be bad all the way around. Next up, we have Fearless Scald. A red and 4, like maybe a human berserker or elf berserker, maybe. Has backup 1 and double strike. It's a 3/2 for 5 though, but it has double strike. That can be beefy if you swing it in. Next up, we have our first equipment of this set in Ramosian Greatsword. A beefy red and 4 for artifact equipment that has Convoke. The equipped creature gets +3/+1 and has Trample, and you equip for 2. So not a bad equip cost, but its casting cost is beefy, but it does have Convoke. Convoke seems to be a big thing in this set. Next up, we have Invasion of Segovia. A blue and 2 for a 4 damage siege. And when it enters the battlefield, you create 2 1/1 blue Kraken creature tokens with Trample. Okay, well, if you're adding some counters onto that, it's not bad. If you defeat the battle, especially if you put a +1/+1 counter on each of those Kraken creatures, you can defeat the battle right away, flip it over to Cetus, Sea Tyrant of Segovia. 3/3 Legendary Serpent. Non-creature spells you cast have Convoke. Ew. Beginning of your end step, untap up to 4 target creatures. Oh, that's beefy. Use those creatures for Convoke spells. Use them as additional blockers. This might fit a little bit well in that Knight deck that I'm seeing going to emerge from this set. That might be a good add. So next up we have Invasion of Kaladesh. A blue and a red for a 4 damage battle. When Invasion of Kaladesh enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless softer artifact creature token with flying. You flip it over, it becomes Aetherwing Golden Scale Flagship, an X4 legendary artifact vehicle with flying. Aetherwing Golden Scale's flagship's power is equal to the number of artifacts you control. Well, in a blue-red deck, that shouldn't be too hard to do. And you can only crew it for 1. So if you're playing with a lot of artifacts and this thing, solid add. I mean, think about some of the Urzas we've come across lately. I mean, that's just many things good. Next up, we have Storm the Seed Core. 2 green and 2 for a sorcerer that reads distribute 4+1/+1 counters up to 4 target creatures you control. Creatures you control gain vigilance and trample till end of turn. That could be useful. Next up, we have Notfold Hermit. A green and 3 for a 4/4 troll. Pay a Phyrexian blue and 5, transform Notfold Hermit, activate only as a sorcery. And it becomes Chrome Host Hulk. A 5/5 Phyrexian troll. Whenever Chrome Host Hulk attacks, up to one other target creature has base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn. Oh, that could be ugly. Especially if you're, having some, +1/+1 counters being distributed. That could be fun. But again, the transform costs on these are a bit beefy. Next up, we have Hidetsugu and Kairi. 2 blue, a black, and 2 for a 5/4 Ogre Demon Dragon. It has flying. Another one of these team-up cards. When Hidetsugu and Kairi enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards and put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. When Hidetsugu and Kairi dies, exile the top card of your library. Opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may cast it without paying mana cost. Oh, there's a theme deck you can build stuff around. Oh, that is ugly, ugly, ugly. Next up, we have Doomscar Warrior. 2 green and 2 for a 4/3. Human warrior. It has backup 1 and trample. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle card, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card, put it into your hand, with the rest on the bottom of your library. Solid playable card. Not unhappy. Next up, we have Knight Errant of Eos. A white and 4 for a 4/4 human knight with Convoke. Knight Errant of Eos enters the battlefield. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoke Knight Errant Eos. Put the revealed cards into your hand, then shuffle. Okay, so some searching and stuff going on. That kind of works. Makes use of the convoke ability. Okay. Next up, we have Bloodfeather Phoenix. A red one for a 2/2 Phoenix with flying. It can't block. Whenever one or more instant or sorcery spells you control deal damage to an opponent or battle card, you may pay a red. If you do, Return Bloodfeather Phoenix from the graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until end of turn. But that's nice. Probably one of the best Phoenixes I've seen. Invasion of Asgol. It's a black and a red for a 4 damage battle. And when it enters the battlefield, target player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker and loses a life. Oof, that could be painful. You flip it over and you get a 2/1 zombie elemental. There's a creature type you don't see. It comes with menace. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So that's really, really cool. And it works very well in those colors. So I can really live with this. Next up we have Errant and Giada, two quite famous characters from the realm of New Capenna. So, white, a blue, and 1 for a 2/3 legendary human angel. Has flash, flying. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast spells with flash or flying from the top of your library. If that would go in an angel deck, a blue-white angel deck? Certainly, certainly. Okay. Next up we have Sculpted Perfection. A white, a black, and 2 for an enchantment that reads when Sculpted Perfection enters the battlefield, you incubate 2. And Phyrexians you control get +1/+1. Definite care about Phyrexians nowadays. So that could go in a Phyrexian deck, and it makes its own little Phyrexian thingy. Little incubator token. Next up we have Inga and Isika. Again, more foreign language. Japanese there. So, yeah, it's a green, a blue, and 2 for a 4/4. I guess some sort of god creature. All creatures you control have vigilance and tap to add 1 mana of any color. This mana can only be spent to cast creature spells. And whenever you cast a creature spell, if 3 or more mana from a creature was spent to cast it, draw a card. So definitely some things to think about for that type of deck. Next up we have Furnace Gremlin. A red and 1 for 1/2 Gremlin. Pay a red and 1. It gets +1/+0 till end of turn. So it's pumpable, and when it dies, you incubate X time where X is equal to pump that up and then sack it or something. And you can create a bunch of you can create an incubator token. No, I don't like that at all. Oh, that's just bad. Next up, we have City on Fire. A beefy 3 red and 5, but it has for an enchantment with Convoke. If a sorcery with control deals damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage instead. Woo! That's worse than that's just bad. This is a spell you want to Convoke. You put this out there and you got triple damage. Ouch! It's gotta hurt. That's any source. That's not just red sources, or So that's gonna seriously.
Oh, good girl. Good Francesca.
Pause program. Okay, we're back. So we have Tribute to the World Tree, a 3 green mana for enchantment that reads: whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. If its power is 3 or greater, draw a card if its power is 3 or greater. Otherwise, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Well, it's after 21 minutes. I'm going to have to stop this video because we don't want it running too long.